Here are 5 reasons why I think this might be the best case Stockman ever made. Hello everybody, hope y'all are doing good out there. In this video I want to talk about 5 reasons why I think the 18 pattern Stockman from Case might be the best Stockman that Case makes. Now Case makes a lot of Stockmans. I did a video series where I covered most of them. I still have a few more I need to cover. But when I look at them and I think about it, there's usually a few things that I notice about each of them that makes me figure, oh, this one's better than that one, or that one's better than this one in this way and that. Now, of course, this is fully a matter of opinion is what this is. There is no right or wrong answer in the question of which is the best Case makes. But when I'm making this video, I'm kind of focusing this more on guys who don't have any of the Case Stockmans or are just now getting into traditional Case knives or traditional knives at all. And when they start off, I think there are certain knives that may be better starter traditional knives than others are, and I think there's multiple factors that go into deciding what is the best pattern for what particular use. And I think the 18 pattern might be the best Stockman for somebody to start off with, and I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why I think that's so in this video. I have 2 18 patterns from Case right here that kind of cover different sides of the spectrum. The one on the left here is going to be your classic yellow Delrin synthetic handled knife. It's smooth with no jigging. It's got carbon steel blades, and it's more of the Workman series. And it has what they call the California clip. The knife on the right over here is bone handle with an corncob jigging on it. It's also a pocket-worn knife. It's got stainless steel blades. It's got a standard clip point blade, and it's made more to be collected if somebody should want to than this yellow one is. I am going to use these 2 knives to show the 5 reasons why I think that this might be the best Stockman for a beginner. The first thing we've got to notice is the size. These Stockmans are about 3 5/8 inches when they're closed. And that puts them right in the sweet spot for a slip joint folding knife. Not too big, not too small. Small enough that it fits the pocket well. Big enough that it fills the hand fine. For instance, I wear a large or extra large size glove, and you can see I've got plenty of grip on this knife, but it's not too long for me to extend my first finger to use as a depth gauge. It's big enough, but it's not too big. Case has a lot of other knives that fall in the same general size category, including the 37 Sodbuster Jr., the 07 Mini Trapper, and the 032 Medium Stockman. They all more or less fall in that 3 1/2 to 3 5/8 size range, and it's a great size to put in your pocket, to carry in your pocket, and to hold in your hand. Case has many other patterns too in this same size. These are some of the most popular. The overall size of a knife is important when it comes to a pocket knife, because if the handle is too small, you may not carry it because you think it won't do what you need it to do that day. And if the handle is too big, you may not carry it because you've got too much other stuff in your pockets and you'll think it'll take up too much room, or maybe it weighs too much in your pocket, or whatever it might be. So if the knife's too small, you might not carry it. If the knife's too big, you might not carry it. The goal of an EDC knife is to have it in your pocket every day when you need it to do your EDC tasks. The 3 5/8 size is just about perfection in that area. I know some who feel that the Peanut is too small. I also know some who feel that the 54 pattern full-size Trapper is too big. But I've never heard anybody say that the medium 18 pattern Stockman is too big or too small. I think it's just right about in the middle. The second reason why I think the 18 pattern is a great option is because of its heavy build. If you compare the 18 Stockman to a lot of the other Stockmans from Case, you'll notice that the liners are thicker, the back springs are thicker, and even the bolsters are a little thicker. For example, this is a Case 032 pattern Stockman. An absolutely wonderful knife, don't get me wrong. It's one of my favorites. Got 3 blades, comes into 3 1/2 inches. But if you notice here, you can see just how much thicker the 18 pattern is. Although it's the same length of a knife, it's built a little heavier. Notice how much thinner the springs are in the knife on the right. The camera is not showing it as clearly as it does in real life, but you'll notice there is a huge difference right there. And don't get me wrong, the 18 pattern is built sturdier. The big benefit of the 032 pattern is its slimness. But the big benefit of the 18 pattern is its sturdiness. What matters more to you, slimness or sturdiness? If your answer is sturdy, then you'll probably want an 18 pattern. Another thing I'll say is the shape of the bolster. Because of the shape of the bolster on the 18 pattern compared to the shape on the 032 pattern, it causes it to have more support on the blade itself. You can see there's more bolster where it comes up in a circular shape, in a domed shape, touching the blade. I've never found an 18 pattern with a loose blade. I'm sure they're out there, there has to be some, but I've never seen one just because they're so sturdy the way they're put together. Even if we compare the 18 pattern to a much larger knife, like the 47 pattern of Stockman, for instance, it's still built heavier. You can see that the 47 pattern Stockman is quite a bit of a bigger knife. The 47 is unique in that it has 3 back springs without a liner down the middle, where most Stockmans from Case are going to have 2 back springs with a liner down the middle. Because of that, they're going to have to bend that sheep's foot blade. They don't really have to do that on the 18 pattern because the design. Buck often does that on their knives. But what that does is it causes the springs to be a little thinner. And it does not have as much spring tension, so the knife doesn't stay open as well. And it doesn't have as much snap to it because of that. Also, I do not believe that this style of building is as strong. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that this is a stronger way of building a knife. That's not to say this is weak. These are great knives. They're plenty strong enough. But again, if you're looking for heaviness, the 18 pattern's where you need to look. The third reason is going to be the complementary blades. Well, I don't know how long that camera had flipped upside down. I just caught it. Sorry about that. I hope it wasn't too long. Nevertheless, the third thing is going to be the complementary blades. This knife has good complementary blades. You got a clip point, a sheep's foot, and a spay blade. Every one of these blades does something different. You don't have any repeats. You've got your general use blade. This is what you might use to cut apples and such as that. You got your sheep's foot blade, which might be your utility blade, which you use to open boxes and cut tape and such as that. And then you got your your spay blade, which you might use to do your harder use tasks like cutting hay twine or rope, zip ties, or something like that. All 3 of the blades complement each other. And there is a blade variation in the world of the 18 pattern Stockman. For instance, these two are 2 opposites. If you'll notice, most of your 18 pattern Stockmans are going to have this style clip blade, which is known as a California clip blade. Very few of them from Case, the red bone handle being by far the most popular, are going to have a standard style clip blade. They're the same length, they have the same style of a cutting edge, but the back of the knife blade itself is different, the spine. That's a matter of preference and opinion. I initially did not care for the California clip style. I have since learned to really like it, and I'll show you why. The biggest plus that I'm aware of having a California clip blade over a standard clip is that when you're using your sheep's foot blade, which is probably going to be the most used blade on a knife like the 18 pattern Stockman, that California clip blade lies low in the handle, and it makes it extremely ergonomic and comfortable in the hand. In case anybody ever wondered, that's why the sheep's foot blade rides so high on the 18 pattern, is because they're assuming it's going to be your main used blade. It rides up high. That way, when you need it, you can pinch it open instead of having to use the nail nick. And since that's your most used blade, it makes sense to have the spay blade and the clip blade hide down in the handle where they'll stay out of the way and be ergonomic. If you have the 18 pattern with the regular standard clip blade, you're going to lose just a very little bit of that advantage. Not too much, but just a little bit. It sticks up a little bit more, but it's really not a big deal. So just pick which style blade you like better, or better yet, just get the handle style you like and use whatever clip blade comes on the knife. They're both great and they perform the same. There is also a variation of the 18 pattern out there that has a punch instead of the spade blade that you can find if you look for it. The fourth reason why the 18 pattern is a great beginner's knife is the variety. There's a lot of variety when it comes to the 18 pattern Stockman. We show a lot of it right here. We got Delrin handles, bone handles, smooth handles, jigged handles. We've got different badges. We got a circle case. We got a script case. We got carbon steel. We got stainless steel. We got California clip blade. We got standard clip blade. This one has square corners, if you notice. This one, being a pocket-worn knife, has the rounded corners on it. And like we said, you can put a punch on it if you'd rather have a punch. You can get stag handles. You can get all kinds of different handles on this knife. All kinds of Kironite styles, all kinds of different colors, bones, all kinds of different jigging. If you like variety, the 18 pattern's the one you ought to look for, because there's a huge variety in it. Way more than the other Stockmans from Case. The 47 is a great Stockman, but most of them are all going to be this amber bone or bone stag. It's rare to see one with a different handle than that on it, and a carbon steel one of these is super duper rare. Not to mention the fact that you rarely see any other blade option. The 032 is also very limited. I never see any other blade options. It's usually just your pin blade, sheep's foot blade, and your clip blade. You rarely see any other options with that. And the handle materials are not near as available as they are for the 18 pattern. Same can be said for the 087 Stockman. This shares the same handle as a pen knife and as an jackknife the Case makes. I especially like the jackknife. It's got a clip blade, sheep's foot, no clip blade, a spade blade, and a pen blade. It does not have your sheep's foot blade on it. But these, you almost only ever see them with a brown Delrin handle. This is, I believe, the second bone one I've ever seen. But it's pretty rare, but again, they're a lot harder to find. There's not near as many options, handle material-wise or blade steel-wise. And so, in my opinion, these are both good reasons why the 18 pattern comes out ahead a little bit. There's more variety. And the fifth and final reason is going to be availability. The 18 pattern, I believe, is the easiest Stockman to get from Case. Almost any hardware store that has any Case knives at all is going to have an 18 pattern Stockman. It'll probably be either this yellow or the amber bone. And they do stock these beautiful pocket-worn red ones also. But it's easier to find, whether you're looking at a used one or a new one. It's usually the easiest Case Stockman to find. And availability says a lot. You won't carry a knife you can't find to buy. And the fact that there's more around usually drives the value down a little bit, at least on the secondary market, because there's so many more of them running around. And the availability can be a big deal when it comes to a pocket knife. And these certainly are the most available of all of Case's knife. You could always recommend the classic yellow Delrin like this one. This is a 2020 model with the CV blades, just an absolutely excellent knife that I have really enjoyed. Got it used at a pawn shop, cleaned it up, carried it a lot. You will not be able to get away from blade rub on most Stockmans, but that does not bother me a bit on a Stockman. You can see it right there. So, as we end out this video, I want to give two shout-outs. I want to give one shout-out to Isaac Berkman, who really likes the 18 pattern and is been one of the longest supporters of this channel. And I also want to give a shout-out to Luke's Knife Point of View. He's got a Stockman that looks absolutely identical to this one. There's a lot of us out there who have wound up with this red bone Stockman with the standard clip style blade, and that's just because this is such an amazing knife. So I want to give a shout out to y'all and everybody out there in the knife world who likes the 18 pattern Stockman. I actually picked this one up at a pawn shop. This one, as you can see from the date stamp, is a 2002, and it had a politician's name etched into the blade. And so I got it for a real good price and etched and buffed his name off the blade. I didn't want that on there. But no, these 18 patterns are absolutely great. Let me know down in the comments your feelings about them. What else would you have added to my list? And do you agree that it's a great first starter, Stockman? I know that once people get deeper into the knife world, they may talk about fluted bolsters. They may talk about pinched bolsters, square bolsters, round bolsters. We may talk about stuff like a sow belly and a nice curve on the back and the swedging on the sheep's foot blade. We may talk about the benefit of having the blades in line on the 47 pattern, and on we can go. How beefy and strong the sheep's foot blade is on the 75 pattern. And all this is true, and this is stuff that we enjoy as people who like to collect and mess with knives. But for somebody who's looking to get started, I think the 18 pattern's really where it's at. It's great user. It's easy to get. It looks nice. It's one of the most comfortable, in my opinion, in the hands because of the rounded corners. I mean, it just fits the hand very well. It has what they call a serpentine shape. And that's my opinions about it. Y'all, you have a good day. Comment down below, and keep your knives sharp.